are the New York Knicks.
I'm back, rocking in New York.
Well, it's the Knicks.
New York.
We are the New York Knicks. For this new season we're about to enter, the Knicks taking no shorts just like winter.
New York, New York.
New York be about the Knicks, huh?
But the best thing about New York City is
K-N-I-C-K-S.
Everybody say go New York, go New York, go!
Hey everybody, it's the New York Knicks podcast, episode 454, which is also the same amount of games the Knicks lost before finally winning the other week. We are part of the Almighty Baller Network and Dash Radio. I am Jay. Back from the dead is Marc. And
Yes.
we have special guest Jeff here today. How you doing, Jeff?
All right, how you guys doing?
Good. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Should we tell anyone who Jeff is, or just go with the show?
Jeff is a longtime Wizards fan. And
Sad Wizards fan.
sad.
We're all sad fans here, just to let you know. Go
So-
on.
This is true.
Well, what we're going to cover the last week's Knicks stuff real quick, and then what we're going to do is something different. We're going to have a palate cleanser episode, and Jeff is going to tell us why we should not feel so bad about our fandom by telling us about his fandom. I think it'll be a nice experience for all of us.
Jeff, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Just to start the show.
Mhm.
It's kind of a fast question. You're 32 years old. Your career's been over for 3 years. Do you opt into your player option for $46 million? Do you do it?
Oh, of course. All day, every.
That's going to be a fun summer for you guys.
Oh, yeah.
That is John Wall, who... what's going on with John Wall?
Well, at the moment, he's not allowed in the kitchen, and he just got a back tattoo of his mom. So, John Wall update.
Did he... You're kidding. You're making that up, the last part.
Please go to Instagram.
You're not making that up?
No, it's on his back. His mom goes slightly up his neck, and there's a brick wall kind of thing across his shoulders going down.
This is going to be a good episode.
Is it true that that they switched from Bullets to Wizards because basically Washington fans, like, if they didn't hear the word Bullets, it wouldn't be an immediate idea what to do with themselves?
More than likely, yeah. But mostly it was Abe Poland just wanting to take the quote-unquote violence image away from the team. So we're just
No,
going to
I
go
bet
Wizards.
people would be like, oh, we root for the Bullets. I can use one on myself.
Oh, yeah, of course. And I mean, our poster child for that is the Agent Zero. And I wholeheartedly am in on everything he does.
Okay. Let's go talk a little bit of Knicks, and then we'll go back to Washington. What's going on with the Knicks, Jay? We have some amazing signings.
Yeah. John Jenkins.
John Jenkins has been signed to a 2-year deal. Sorry, Durant, your spot is taken.
So next year is fully not guaranteed. So the theory is that we're just getting non-guaranteed contracts to match any trade scenarios should some guy with one eyebrow decide he wants to play in New York.
Oh, I just figured you would wanted to. They like the 10-day contract. You keep him for the rest of the year. If he looks good, you can have him for next year because you have the option.
No, the 10-day contract is Henry Ellenson.
Oh, but wasn't Jenkins on a 10-day contract, and this guarantees him for the season?
Well, no, they signed him for 2, with 1 year not guaranteed.
Yeah, no, I understand. I'm just saying that way he plays out the season. If you want to keep him for next year, you can, as opposed to like half this Knicks roster where they're like, "Hope you're good this year." Crap, we don't even know what to do if you guys are good because we can't even keep you guys. Like, instead of having guys on a 1-year deal, at least have an option to keep him.
Yeah, but we won't.
But you think Jenkins will lead to Anthony Davis?
I think that's their thinking. I don't
How?
think it'll happen, but I think they think it'll happen.
The Pelicans, like the owners, are on so much meth that they're like, whatever, we'll take Jenkins.
It's like, hey, we'll trade you Anthony Davis, but only if we get John Jenkins.
You know what? I was going to take a gun and murder like 50 people. We'll take Jenkins first, and then that'll do the murdering.
So
So we're hoping for a psychotic rampage from the New Orleans management.
yes, so that was the 2 big signings. The other thing.
Oh,
that
Henry
happened-
Ellison. Who is that?
He was drafted by Detroit in 2016. Did almost nothing for 3 years, and now he's on the Knicks.
Play for the Knicks yet?
He's playing right now, his first game. He's played 4 minutes. He's 0 for 1, and he has a foul.
So the Knicks have already guaranteed him for next year.
Probably, yeah.
Okay. One other big news: the Knicks beat the Atlanta Hawks because we can't get tanking right.
So the Knicks lost 28 out of 31 games and don't have the worst record in the NBA.
The Knicks have 11 wins, and 3 of them are against the Atlanta Hawks. How bad are the Atlanta Hawks?
Well, they have about 20 wins, so
They're not, they should be twice as good as us, except for the fact they lost to us 3 goddamn times. Hawks, get it together, Hawks.
Yeah. So that was that. The streak was broken. They had 18 in a row, which is the longest streak in Knicks history. So Knicks breaking records this year.
Do you know, on a positive note, they mentioned this during tonight's game, in the month of February, which I know it's not the longest month, especially with the All-Star break, the Knicks are 8th in defense, in defensive rating. That is coming from the Knicks. Prior to this, the Knicks had been 31st in defensive ranking, despite the fact there are only 30 teams in the NBA.
Did they only take an 8-team sample size?
Well, I don't know. The Knicks, they said in the month of February, the Knicks are 8th in defensive rating. I mean, it's not like they're winning games, but their defense has gotten better. They've changed half the characters on the team, so Cantor doesn't play on the team anymore, so that immediately moves you up a bunch of spots.
I think characters is a good terminology for who's on this roster.
It's an interesting squad. They also, what do you think of Dennis Smith? Because Clyde loves him. Breen and Clyde keep talking about the fact that how much talent they think that if Dennis Smith can develop an outside shot and really focus on defense, he could be an all-star.
So he just has to figure out offense and defense.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he's got a lot of potential. I don't mind the Knicks have him, though apparently Moutier is getting lots of minutes lately. I thought Moutier would be done.
Jeff, do you have any opinions on Dennis Smith?
Oh, love him. You know what? Sign him to a max deal.
Don't say that.
You know we're going to do that, so stop it. Stop teasing us for moves we're going to make.
Smith was the runner-up in the worst dunk contest of the last 15 years.
Yeah, that's a plus.
Yeah. Silver
Okay,
medal.
to be fair, the dunk contest has just sucked for at least 5 years, if not longer.
Yeah, but this one was particularly bad.
I don't know. My favorite one was the James White one, where we had him on the roster for the sole purpose of winning the dunk contest, and he couldn't hit a single dunk in the contest.
He was like over 8. They changed the rules the next year, saying you can only do 3 attempts.
It was like, dude, no one's guarding you. Just put the ball in the net. Can't do it.
Oh, but I'm so winded after the first 3 misses, guys.
Try not doing a full court dunk.
I didn't know I'd have to shoot. I'd have to shoot while I'm jumping.
I didn't know the net was going to be this high.
I thought it's like horseshoes. Close enough. Yeah. So you thought it was a terrible dunk contest?
I thought it was horrible.
Yeah. I don't know. How would you make a dunk contest, Jeff? How would you make a dunk contest better?
Let's see, piranhas or some type of somebody shooting you, Gilbert Arenas style. I don't know. Just liven it up a little bit. Live fire never hurt anybody.
You like dunk over live sharks?
Hey, why not? As long as they have freaking laser beams on their head, who cares?
Yeah, like James White might have missed, but that was exciting when his scrotum was ripped off by the shark. Oh, sorry, James. Yeah, they gotta make it more exciting. I think the All-Star game the whole weekend just sucks. I heard a good suggestion. It was on the Sports Illustrated podcast. Someone wrote in and said we should remove the backboards for the All-Star game. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah,
like everyone.
I mean, especially like in the dunk contest too, where they mandatory. Hey, you have to use a prop, and most of them just throw it off the backboard of themselves. It's boring. Do something else.
I think they should bring the trampolines from Slam Ball.
Or make for the All-Star game, make all the baskets 5 foot high, and then also allow like tackling, and just make it a football game.
Oh, James Harden would excel at that.
Yeah, he would.
James Harden would be like, I got fouled, and you're in the locker room. It's coming. They're gonna foul me. Anything else going on with the Knicks, Jay? Oh, by the way, Tankathon. So we are number 2 in the Tankathon, and you know what March 6th is?
What the Ides of March? What is it?
March 6th is the Tank Super Bowl. The Knicks are playing the Phoenix Suns that day.
Oh,
we have to lose.
That's going to be a barn burner.
So right now the Knicks, they are tied with Phoenix with 11 wins, but Phoenix has more losses. Cleveland is 3rd place with 14 wins. Is there a chance the Knicks can catch Cleveland? And Chicago's 4th with 16. Are the Knicks catching any of these teams?
No, they're locked into a bottom 3.
Yeah, well, I think they're bottom 3, maybe bottom 2, though they're beating the Spurs right now. How are the Knicks roughing up the Spurs?
I don't know. I think the Spurs are just messing with us.
Jeff, are the Knicks going to screw this up and go on like a winning streak?
Yeah, they're probably going to win at least 3-4 in a row, randomly, April, just to make it, just when you think they're going to lose to Phoenix, which will be great, and then all of a sudden, like, no, we can't do this.
Maybe the conversation with Porzingis was the Knicks were like, hey, we're tanking, we're going to lose all our games and get a top pick in the draft, and Porzingis is like, you're going to screw this up and win the next 10 games. No, we're not. Screw this, trade me.
John Jenkins and Henry Ellenson get triple doubles for like 3 games in a row.
It's like John Jenkins becomes Linsanity. So we want to move on to this? Okay, so
we have before we do that, we have a where are they now?
Where are they now?
Hakeem Noah. He is in Memphis getting double doubles.
Hakeem?
Whatever his name is.
Hakeem?
Yaquin. I don't know.
Is he Elijah?
Jay Noah. The guy who did pull-ups on Phil Jackson's arm. He's
you didn't know why are you calling him Hakeem?
I don't know. That's how you spell it. I say everything phonetically.
Jeff, how do you say it, Jeff?
Hokeem?
Isn't it Joakim?
Joakim?
Whatever. It's I said he could be a productive player.
You did say that, yeah.
But
so he had 19 and 14 and 22 and 11.
As long as if he was here, somehow Mitchell Robinson would be losing minutes. So whatever.
Remember when he was airballing free throws? He went 12 for 12 the other night.
So he found a sports psychologist to teach him how to shoot free throws again.
Yep.
He's no longer lit, basically. He's like, I'm out of New York. I've stopped partying. You go to New York, you got to ruin your career, then go somewhere else and embarrass the Knicks.
Apparently when you're lit, you can't hit free throws.
Okay, so Jeff here is going to – we do have some questions to answer on Facebook. We'll get to them a little bit later. Jeff is here to make us feel better about being Knicks fans. Jeff, your Washington Wizards have had a lot more success than the Knicks have in the last decade plus. So why is this going to make us feel better?
2 words. Ernie Grunfeld.
Grunfeld. I'm intrigued.
Okay.
How long have you been following this team?
Oh, probably a good 30 years.
Okay. So we got a good sample size going.
Yeah, just a rough sketch.
I think you're really going to wait the first 1,000 years before you jump a judge at GM.
This is valid.
All right. So what are we kicking off with?
You're basically you're judging God's I'm going to build the world in 7 days. You're judging him on Monday. He's like, I've got a lot more days to go. It's going to look a lot better.
He's been saying that for the past 18 years.
Okay, go on. Tell us more.
All right. Let's just start, let's say December 15th.
December 15th of what?
December 2015.
Sorry, of this year. Everything is either last year or this year current.
Okay, so the last 2 years are your disaster. Okay,
this is where it kind of overboils and is like, okay, here's where you really need to get rid of Ernie. The hashtag Fire Ernie has been going very strong. If you watch any type of Wizards post-game, pre-game, Twitter feeds, etc., it's everywhere.
Well,
no matter what they try to do positive.
Before you get too far into killing him, you're right. Just to be fair, I mean, you guys have had a lot of playoff success. You guys have been in the second round at least a couple times, right?
This is true. We have. However, those are with aging, expiring contracts that isn't sustainable. So it's more of a flash in the pan.
I mean, also, just in his defense, John Wall went from being a promising, he looked like he was going to be one of the best players in the league, and now he's a bit broken down at 28. Not really, unless Ernie was trying to injure him himself personally, it's not really his fault on John Wall.
No, it's true, and that's fine. However, when he builds the core around Beal, Porter, and Wall, and almost nobody else, especially on the bench, it kind of is his fault for not rebuilding through the youth movement.
Beal and Wall, and to be fair, they're not quite Lillard and McCollum, but they should be pretty close, if not on par with that tandem.
They should, but they say that they don't have issues on the court, but there's definitely some friction between them of who wants to be the alpha dog, and I think that shows why they're not really excelling the way they should.
Well, I thought there's no issue with them on the court because only one of them is ever on the court.
This is foul. Barrett.
And also, just to be fair, also you have like Dwight Howard. You have a former league MVP. You guys should be good
I
to go.
do, and he's not on the court currently. He's currently rehabbing his sore ass, and will maybe come back by the end of the year.
Is this the longest ass injury in NBA history? I would argue that it is.
Dwight Howard has gone from. It's amazing how like in Orlando, one of the best players in the league MVP, gets his teams in the finals. He leaves, and his career just falls off a cliff.
It kind of fell off the cliff when he burned all the bridges in Orlando.
Yeah, no,
Before
it's
that?
like it's amazing how like it just went so downhill. Okay, but
Yeah, no,
getting back
it was past demise.
getting back to so Otto Porter's contract. What in God's name was Grunfeld thinking?
He saw him play at Georgetown and thought, hey, we need to lock this guy up. No matter what he does, he can miss as many threes, or you know what, don't even take threes, even though we encourage him to. Take as many as you can, and we're going to sign you.
I mean, he's not a bad player. It's just that like the money they gave him was that they thought he was like twice the player he was.
Right, because they were in a bidding war against themselves to keep him on the team.
Oh, by the way, just in case you're concerned, I'm looking at Basketball Reference contracts, and in case you're concerned, after John Wall opts in on the $46 million in 2022 and 2023 season, and $46 million means you can sign almost no one else. You'll have his bird rights in case you want to extend that contract.
Re-up on that?
Oh, we are so doing that.
So you have guaranteed him $141 million plus the 46 he'll take when he opts in. So it's $187 million, including this season. John Wall. Yeah.
Yeah. He's 37, we're called 39, 41, 44, 47.
If you took the money from his contract, could we actually build the wall for Mexico?
You know, they're smart enough. I think that's going to fund it. There was a tweet saying they had $5 million, and they said we're halfway there.
Okay, so hit us with the. Go back to your. So it's December 15th,
2017. Or sorry, 18.
Okay.
18. Sorry.
Okay. Hit us.
The Wizards tried trading as many picks as they can. This is Ernie's bread and butter. So apparently, when they were trying to get rid of Gortat over the summer, a report came out saying that the Clippers offered DeAndre Jordan straight up for Marcin Gortat and Kelly Oubre. And Ernie's like, no, we're good. We're not going to do this.
Okay, what are you going to do?
Well, clearly, we let Gortat walk, and now he's on his third team, which is fine. DeAndre Jordan is still serviceable, but he's an expiring, I think.
Yeah, he's expiring now, yeah.
So
I think we have DeAndre Jordan now.
Yes, we do.
So that would have saved you guys.
So what did you trade? What was the trade you guys made?
Essentially, for that one, I'm sorry, I'm trying to look. We traded Gortat for Morris and got Ariza.
Okay.
So
what order are you going
not
in? I know
terrible.
you said it's a thing of 1 through like 200 moves. Are we starting at number 1 or were we starting?
Oh, sorry. That was just kind of the most kind of recent deals where he could have done something. Yes, and Ariza isn't terrible, but for the way the team is, he still has that win mentality. When he was with the Wizards before, he loved the team and just wanted to win as much as he could. So I didn't see him as a good fit for a potential tank.
Oh, where are they now? DeAndre Jordan injured in practice today, out for tonight's game.
That's fine. Whatever.
He's healthy, right?
By the way, the Knicks are blowing out the Spurs right now.
Good.
The Knicks haven't been up by 18 on... They're not even up on 18 during a scrimmage against each other. And the Spurs... The Knicks better not go on this big winning streak now.
All right, make us feel better, Jeff.
The first trade you mentioned on your list, you have the Gortat trade. This is why I got confused, because you said the Gortat trade. And you said the Wizards traded their 2014, 15, and 16 first-round picks.
Sorry, I misspoke in that one. I meant that they didn't have first-round picks, And what they were trying to do to circumvent not having to pick of a younger player was they could have traded for Ariza they could have traded for Jordan, but they got Ariza instead. Again, they could have gotten an expiring contract and a younger player in return for this, but they didn't even figure it out.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right, that's bad, but that's not Knicks level bad. So
No, it's not. So
let's step it up.
I just wanted to point out, because you had here that the Wizards traded their 14, 15, and 16 first-round picks. And what you want to do, if you want to clear salary space, you don't trade those picks. You take your best player and just trade him to clear salary space. That's what we do.
I've heard that's a good option. So I'm just
You
going to
wait till the guys have a lot of potential and just use them for cap space. It's the
Of
best
course.
idea.
So the Wizards, since 2009, I'm just going to go to the big list that I was teasing with Jason earlier.
All right.
Okay.
So that's in 2009, the Wiz had the 5th pick.
Mm-hmm.
They traded it for 2 rented players when Steph Curry was still on the board. Yes, I know hindsight being 2020, you would have taken Steph in a heartbeat.
I think Steph was rated pretty highly even before the draft. I think people knew he was going to be good.
Well,
No,
wait a
he
minute.
looked amazing in college.
Yeah.
I'm aware. Davidson was great, but in Ernie's mind,
What did Ernie trade? So he traded the 5th pick, which turned out to be was that Johnny Flynn? Like, was that Timberwolves pick?
yeah, they didn't get really anything out of the assets. There was 2 guys who were like, okay, we're just going to run with what we have.
Like the Timberwolves. One of the point guards in this draft is going to be a surefire Hall of Famer. You're going to draft 2 point guards before him.
Exactly. Because Ernie is the best at this. He's best talent evaluator.
Okay, so how are the Wizards been drafting?
When they've been drafting.
It seems like the trade rate draft picks a lot. They drafted, obviously, Beal, Wall, Porter. Pretty solid picks.
Yeah, those guys are fine. However,
Wall was the number 1 pick, though, right? So
Yes.
it's a little easier
Wall
to get
first
the number
overall.
1 pick, right?
Yeah. So
How do you? Okay, so you had a first overall pick. Who do the Knicks have to talk to? Like, how much money do they have to get? Like, how do you bribe your way into the number 1 pick?
If I knew, I would be able to tell you guys because I don't want to see that in the Wizards' future right now because they're going to screw whatever it is up.
The Knicks deserve it. They deserve the number 1 pick. We've been through so much. Okay, go on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why you guys shouldn't get the first-round pick, especially after this season.
Yeah, I think we earned it.
I mean, we're embarrassing the NBA. Come on. They have to give us the number 1 pick. Make this. I want to get a player that will break his leg because his sneaker doesn't work.
Exactly. And it's only it's a mild sprain.
It's a mild sprain. Is this? I want to know: is the sneaker okay? Can they sew the sneaker back up? Do they have to put it in surgery?
You might have to talk to Nike about that.
Jay, have you ever had a sneaker break on you when you were just like running?
No, I have not.
I haven't.
Is that the sign of a good sneaker that it just breaks?
I don't think anybody's ever had that happen.
I have seen like Shaq. I've seen Shaq bust rims, bust backboards, and I thought that would be the craziest thing I've ever seen in an NBA game. See a guy just bust his sneaker is insane.
Yeah.
Will Zion? How will he injure himself when the Knicks draft him?
Probably the same way. He'll probably just like put duct tape around his sneaker and then bust that open again.
I think he will be getting dressed and somehow lose all feeling in his legs because his belt is too tight and have his legs amputated.
Sounds about right.
Okay. Let's go on with the Wizards.
All
Sorry
right,
for
so also in 2009, the 35th pick, he sold for cash, so we got nothing.
Well, that's great.
In 2010, we had the 17th and 23rd pick. That 17th pick was Kevin Seraphin, who I think you guys might have ended up with at some point.
We had him for what, 6 months?
We had him for a half hour. Don't worry, you didn't miss anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had him, and that was great. He played 20 minutes for only 1 season, had 9 points and 5 rebounds in that 1 season.
So you had his best season. Go on.
Yeah, clearly. So when we drafted him, we also on the board was Trevor Booker.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, maybe. Okay, and then in 11, we had the 6 and 18 pick, which we took Jan Vesley, who Wizards fans love them some Jan Vesley.
So that was your Frederick Weiss moment right there, I think.
Yeah, because Kawhi and Clay were both on the board.
Mm.
Okay.
And the best part about
Knicks
it...
have screwed up a lot of draft picks, too.
Yeah. The best part about the Kawhi thing is there's a quote that Flip Saunders, who was the coach at the time, said that in pre-draft workouts he really, really liked Clay and wanted him to come in at the 6th pick and said he's the guy, we should take him. He said that they toyed with the idea, but maybe not. But then they said no. Then Ernie stepped in and said, no. Jan Vesley was better. He's going to be the best box score guy we can get on the team. We're taking him.
How quickly was Vesley out of the league? Very, right?
Yeah.
What number was this in the pick? What pick was it?
6.
6?
It was a 6th pick
Yeah,
in
6th pick.
2011.
That's a painful pick to have it be a complete disaster.
Yeah, he never played 20 minutes, never averaged 5+ in a season, had 4 rebounds, never that.
He played
So
4 seasons.
I have a question. Is his career going to be better than Frank Ntilikina?
Well, Vesley retired at 23.
Okay, well, Ntilikina's got a couple years to go.
He does. But he only started when he was 21. Can you imagine having a 2-year career and ended up making $10 million?
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I have in the background, I have the Spurs game. Mitchell Robinson has been throwing down some dunks. I mean, it's so painful for them to win. Go on. Now they need to win games. Now we're a good squad. Now when we can hurt our future, we're a good squad.
We're building a winning culture.
I'm sure the Knicks are going to play Golden State later this year, and they're going to basically end KD's career because, like, God forbid he comes here.
No, it's a winning culture. Durant's like, I wasn't going to come, but then you beat the Spurs in the late February, so now I'm coming. Winning culture.
Yeah. So what else is going? So I mean, obviously they spent all this money to like lock up Porter, and Wall didn't work out very well. What are the other highlights? What are the other terrible moves that Washington's made?
Well, considering the owner, who I'm putting a lot of the blame on, he's come out, he owns the hockey team as well, and he's made the analogy saying that they're not going to tank because the hockey team tanked and did better. In that the Wiz tanked once, and then they got the Wall, Beal, and Porter, which is true. However, that was a number of years ago.
Does the owner have a band? And Fix the Wiz would be kind of a cool name for a song.
You know, I'm going to look into that, and I think Uncle Ted might be able to make that happen.
Okay, cool.
So, in so doing, with all of that, he's come back around and said, you know what, we're not tanking. It's bad for business.
Mm-hmm.
And
who comes out and says they're tanking, though?
pretty much everybody in the media and in the press pool is like, look, guys, you guys need to do something, change this. And have you seen the whole, Fire Ernie movement? And he came out when they had the London game against you guys and said, no, tanking's bad, tanking's wrong, never gonna tank.
Well, I mean, I get saying you're not going to tank, but he actively traded for Ariza to prove that he's not tanking, which seemed a little dumb.
That was a little dumb. You also, in London, didn't you beat us on a goaltending call?
You darn right we did. Hey, that helped you out in that whole 27 losses.
That is how bad we are. We lose on a goaltending call in a different country.
And now everybody in England thinks that's how NBA games go.
Yeah, I can't imagine why we haven't caught on more there.
Okay, so, but you are also like, KD may leave Golden State, and if he leaves, doesn't he have like a good, like, isn't like DC his home?
Right, but we had the chance to get him a couple years ago, and we completely botched that. And
Well, I mean, just to be fair, though, he's going to be a free agent again. And do you guys have any money locked up for next season?
no, not at all. We have tons of cap space, nothing locked up.
It looks like here, $109 million are locked up right now. What's the cap? So I assume, does he have any wiggle room? Do you think KD will accept the minimum deal?
You think he'll accept a negative $4 million contract? Because that would get them under the cap.
The moves we made had us under the cap by about 20-something million, I think.
Hey, I have a question. So Jabari Parker has a team option for $20 million. Are the Wizards sad? Are they bad enough and ridiculous enough to take that option?
Knowing the way that Ernie's going to run this, yeah, because he wants to build a young core with players who are not young. So why not?
Jabari's 23, and the Bulls, who were rebuilding, didn't want him. So
I thought he was older than that. Sorry. So
no,
okay,
he's still young. It just seems like he's been around for a while. But I think he came into the league at 19. That's why.
He's older physically because he's been injured every year.
What do you guys think about the fact that they're going to lower the age back to 18? They said for I guess in 2 seasons. I don't know why it's taking so long, but
I'm all for that. I mean, I think college is a scam anyway, and why should they make millions of dollars?
Do you think they should go lower? Like, should you be able to draft a guy at a junior high?
I mean, those games are on ESPN right now, so I mean, why not?
I think this. I want to see how much the NBA owners can screw themselves. I've locked up to a max deal a 7-year-old, but he's LeBron's son, so it's worth it. Hopefully, he re-ups with the last when he hits 12.
Well, so back to the Durant portion. When he had the chance to get him, it was KD to Durant, hashtags, movements. Everybody wanted Durant to come to DC.
You were, in fairness, you're competing with a team that won 72 wins.
This is very valid. However, it was, hey, you know what? Why not? So when Ernie couldn't offer him enough money when we actually had cap space, they end up with Jan Mahimi, Trey Burke, Andrew Nicholson, and Jason Smith, who most of them I don't think are even on the roster, and Mahimi's
There is a lot of overlap between our teams. We had 2 of those guys.
Hey, have you been watching the games lately?
Are you talking about me or Jeff?
Jeff.
Yeah, I've watched a couple here and there. I mean, I try not to.
How does Chase Randall look? Because the Knicks had him, and they never played him. I don't know. He was for half a second. He was on the Knicks. I was curious how he looked.
You know, I haven't actually paid attention and seen him, so I can't actually answer that. I wish I could, but let's say he's
in and out like a flash.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Knicks games are a blur to me also, so I understand. Yeah. By the way, the Knicks are only up by 11 after being up by 20.
Oh, look at that.
I'd see if they can pull this off. So KD does he have the meeting with Ernie Grunfeld?
I don't think he even sat down with Ernie. There was also a rumor, again, going in Ernie's favor that Durant doesn't want to play at home because he just won't have to deal with all of the people coming down asking for tickets and have to deal with all of his hangers-on coming back home. So I don't think he'd go to DC, even if that was the way that it was leaning.
Okay. What else? What other moves have been frustrating?
When they were losing to Charlotte the other day to go 11 games under 500, the Wizards tweeted out a highlight of the first-round pick they had in 2012, thinking, here's the youth movement. Too bad the guy plays in the G League right now, so clearly he's on the up-and-coming.
Who was that?
I didn't actually see the name.
Why are they tweeting out players that got drafted 7 years ago?
Because they wanted to show that the G League that they just started with that team is actually has a youth movement for them.
If they drafted him 7 years ago, that's not the guy's like 30.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. This is how they try to make the fan base try to put a Band-Aid over something that needs stitches.
Okay.
It's cool. The Knicks tweeted out a picture of Chris Childs tonight. It said hashtag youth movement.
All right. So
you guys. So what's your state of your draft picks right now? Do you have a lot of draft picks right now?
State of our draft picks. We own almost no draft picks. Hold on. We owe the 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023 picks to pretty much everybody else.
I think by league rules you have to have a certain every other year you have to have your own first round pick.
We do, but
no, that's second rounders.
Oh, sorry, that's second round.
Sorry, okay, yeah.
Sorry, my list is a little jumbled. I apologize. Do they have this year's first? I think they owed the second round Denver. I think they actually had this year's first. So they may actually get a pick in because I think they traded last year's first.
So why trade away Kelly Oubre?
He was the best kind of piece they had, and
But that was the Trevor Ariza trade, right?
it was, and we could have gotten more out of him, but he was coming off of an injury. Now, I would have liked to have seen Oubre stay. However, he was kind of hit and miss with the team as far as his effort, which would have been great for a tank job. So don't get me wrong, I would love to have kept him.
He's always looked pretty good against the Knicks. Have you thought about asking the Knicks for multiple first-round picks for him?
I mean, I think if Ernie was smart enough, he would have done that, but he just decided to send him back over the West Coast.
I mean, rumor has it the Knicks' original trade was going to be Porzingis for Oubre, but you guys traded him, so it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he would have wanted to. I don't think that guy KP would have wanted to come here or go there. Pardon me.
So what else is going on with Washington? Why else are they? Because you guys also were in a position, it seemed like, that once LeBron's run was done, you were going to be like you had a shot at taking the mantle in the East. Like you were on the rise,
right?
A couple years
but
ago.
This also was contingent on Wall staying healthy and then not overusing him, and Beal and Porter actually showing up. I think Porter shot and played out of his mind during the playoff runs they had, so that kind of skewed the numbers on him a little bit.
My favorite line here is the Wizards have 5 players under contract for next year. Those 5 players place them over the cap,
And that was
and one of them is a rookie.
And that was before the trade to get under the cap. So it's now 4 guys because now they're under with Porter being gone.
That's good stuff.
It's amazing though. You guys are going to pay $64 million. So here's a question for you, Bradley Beal. Are you ready to trade Bradley Beal? I know he's 25. He's arguably your best player. Not even arguably. He's your best player. Would you trade? So here's the trade I was thinking that would make sense for you. You go to the Lakers, and the same assets they were asking for like Anthony Davis, you say, I got Bradley Beal, give me the same like package, basically.
If they could pull that off, then yeah, I'm okay with that. I mean, I would be...
Beal's not Anthony Davis.
No, he is not, but Bradley Beal would be a huge addition to the Lakers, and they'd look a lot better if they had Beal next to LeBron.
They would, and since he was the last pick in the All-Star draft, and he was clearly thrilled in trying to... recruit players now. I think Beal would be great, but no. If we were to trade Beal, it would be for that deal. If we could get some stupid Anthony Davis trade, why not?
Well, yeah, are you ready to trade Beal, I guess? That's the first question.
If the price was right, yes. However, I think if we could keep him, he'd be the better building block than Wall.
What if it was like Ball, Ingram, and a first?
Because first of all, you're probably not trading Wall unless unless you could trade him to 5 years ago Knicks. Like you need that dumb of a team.
Oh, I'm well aware of that. I'm just hypothetically speaking, if we could get rid of one of the two of them, it would be keep Beal, get rid of Wall.
Yeah, so obviously you get rid of the worst contract, but so forgetting the fact that you can't trade him, what was your trade you suggested?
Ball, Ingram, and a first. Because I don't think you're not going to get the whole package. You're not going to get Kuzma and another first. And
Ball, Ingram, and a first. You doing that?
I think I would, because Ernie will find a way to trade that first for another aging player. So, but realistically, that'd be a good deal for them because they could at least try to rebuild without necessarily tanking.
Okay, what if the Knicks signed Durant and they come to you guys and they're saying we'll give you Knox, Ntilikina, and a first
for Beal?
I know it's too much, right?
I mean, I don't think. Ernie would probably want to give you guys another player. He'd feel sorry for you guys.
What do you want for the Knicks? What kind of trade could we work out here for Beal?
That's tough. I don't know. I mean,
the Knicks have Henry Ellenson and John Jenkins.
But yeah, it's for John Jenkins. It would be your team option. So it's
right.
You can keep him if you want him. You don't have to keep him.
Mm-hmm.
What else you want from us? We can give you the rights to Joakim Noah's old contract.
You know what? Double down on that with the pain in the ass, and you know what? With his player option next season, and I'm in.
By the way, Knox just went for a dunk and just kicked the guy in the chest. It was a fun doc.
That's the Draymond Green special.
Okay, so what about looking at your roster, what do you think of Satoransky? Because he looked like for a little while looked like he was pretty good.
When he knows the role he's going to be playing, he's great as the guy to take over for Wall. Last season, when he wasn't sure when Wall was coming back, he had glimpses and like, hey, this guy's actually semi-decent and serviceable. We can build around this. But we didn't know when Wall was actually coming back. We kept toying with it, and so he didn't know how exactly to play his role, so he stepped it back. This season, now he knows he's the guy. He's actually putting up the numbers that we were expecting out of him.
Okay. I mean, it doesn't... What's your path forward here?
Murder John Wall.
Well, again, not murder. Just make sure that his leg falls off, just so that we can, make sure that everything is okay. We don't have to pay you anymore.
Yeah, he's got to get twice as injured, right? And then you could just say, "Oh, you don't count against the cap anymore."
On the injury report, the Wizards report, John Wall's leg fell off in practice today. They've asked you not to ask any questions.
I mean, at some point, the NBA feels bad for you and takes it off the cap, right? That's how that works, I think.
I don't think that's actually how it works because the Knicks would have had contracts taken off there. Come on, we're Knicks fans.
Does anybody in the league feel bad for the Knicks, though?
You should. At least we don't have this contract, though. This contract really... if John Wall was only getting $19 million a year going forward, would you feel as bad?
No, I mean, I still feel bad. You never want to see a guy hurt, but no, I wouldn't feel as bad because we could at least build around what we have left in dead money versus now where we have that extra $30 million going forward a year.
But what if also John Wall, like we could replicate him? So you'd have two John Walls on the roster, each making $19 million and each not contributing.
Well, I mean, if we had two John Walls and cut off one leg of each of them and put them together and have one full-time healthy John Wall and one kind of cripple Wall, I'm in.
Okay, because I think that would be a good way to do things. So John Wall, we're going to cut off your leg and try to regrow you. Any other highlights from the Wizards? You guys sound like your franchise is not that much ahead of the Knicks. Who's going to win a title first, the Knicks or the Wizards?
Probably the Knicks.
Trick question. The world was going to end before that happens.
Fair enough.
Do you guys want to do some Knicks questions?
Hold on. Just one quick thing will last on the Wizards/Bullets franchise. Most organizations have milestones of, hey, we have this many players of the year, defensive players of the year, etc. The Wizards have a grand total of 5 major award winners. Coach of the Year back in 1982, Most Improved Player 3 times with Purvis Ellison, Don McLean, and Big George Mirasan. And they have one league MVP.
Did Don McLean win that for American Pie or do something on the basketball court?
I think the American Pie really set him over the top. It is the most improved.
Because they're like, the Wizards, he's not doing much in the court, but the halftime show was goddamn awesome.
It's the best. And the only league MVP they had was back in 1969. Nice Wes Unseld wins it for the team.
So no Rookie of the Year, no Sixth Man of the Year, no Defensive Player of the Year.
So I kind of thought when you were saying that, the top 5, like only 5 awards, you were only going to do Wizards, like when they changed the name to the Wizards. I didn't realize you were going back into Bullets history also. That's really sad. I
mean, even the Knicks have a Sixth Man of the Year award.
We got J.R. Smith, Sixth Man of the Year, who we got Defensive Player of the Year in Tyson Chandler.
He wasn't Defensive Player of the Year on the Knicks, though, was he?
Yeah.
Really?
Wasn't Chandler Defensive Player of the Year on the Knicks that year? They won 54 games.
Oh wow! Okay.
I thought so. Am I crazy?
I thought he was Defensive Player of the Year on the. I thought he was Defensive Player of the Year when he was on the Mavs.
Yeah. Well, wasn't he on with? I'm pretty sure he did it on the Knicks. I'm pulling up the list right now. Jay, you are the worst Knicks fan ever. 2011-12, Tyson Chandler, Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year.
Okay.
He didn't, and he also didn't win it anywhere else.
Yeah, I'm the worst. Okay, here we go.
And also, 2 years later, 13-14 year, Joakim Noah wins it. And the Knicks say, we're going to get that guy Noah. It's amazing also, Dwight Howard won it 3 times, and then his career fell off. Okay. Any other Wizards points?
No, I thought that was a nice kind of, end all for this of where you guys could have had Ernie Still for 18 years running your team, and that's in the annals, you would think a team would get better, but no.
When's the last time the Wizards or / Bullets have been to the finals?
Probably, what was it, 78, 79 when they lost? No, is that when the year they won? I think they lost to the Supersonics in 77, 78, 79, 7, or maybe 80. I think they went back-to-back years, and they won one of them.
Okay.
So more recently than the Knicks.
Yeah, that's fair. But the Knicks have been to the finals more recently.
Yeah, that is true.
We had the 90s, so we're going to hold on to that one. Question.
All right, yeah, let's take a quick break, and then we'll
Brandon
do questions. Wait, no, we're taking a quick break.
Oh, quick break.
Quick break.
Quick break.
All right, we're back.
We're back.
So,
It seemed like we were, Jeff, did it seem like we were gone for a long time?
I walked out, did a couple laps. It was great.
Can you update us since our break? What's happened with the Wizards?
They're still trash.
Okay. Keeping things up. Okay, Brandon writes, when does Mitchell Robinson make the Hall of Fame?
I think we need to pump the brakes on that one.
I thought you were going to take 20 years from now and just put him in. He looks good. Do you think Mitchell Robinson will be, forgetting the Hall of Fame thing, which is obviously pump the brakes on that one, is he a future Defensive Player of the Year?
He could be. His fouls are down lately, so that's
fouls are down. He's got in 24 minutes tonight. He's got 5 blocks.
I'll take that. Actually, I don't want that tonight because I want them to lose. But yeah, no, that's really good.
I think he's got a shot at future. Jeff, what do you think of Mitchell Robinson? Have you watched him at all?
I haven't had a chance to catch anything from him.
He's leading the league in blocks.
He's leading rookies in blocks.
Rookies, yeah.
Well, that's.
But they show the league leaders in blocks. They show he's like 5th or 6th, but he's played half the minutes everyone else has played.
Yeah. If you do per 36, he's like destroying people.
Luis writes, with Dennis Smith Jr. developing and Kadeem Allen's, by the way, Kadeem Allen's looked pretty good. Kadeem Allen seemingly competent. Would it be better to go for Clay over Kyrie this summer?
I say yes. I mean, everyone knows I don't like Kyrie. I think he's injured every season. I would much rather Clay.
I'm sorry, Kyrie. We have Kadeem Allen here. We don't need your services anymore. Jeff, what do you think of that? What do you think of that? Should the Knicks have Dennis Smith and Kadeem Allen? Would you take Kyrie over? Who would you take, Kyrie or Clay? I feel like you take Clay either way over Kyrie.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in agreement with Jason on this one. Kyrie seems to be hurt too often, and when his feelings get hurt, he just starts playing within himself and not really helping the team benefit from that.
So the Knicks are going to say, hey, Golden State, we're going to take half your good players. We're going to take Durant and Clay.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll work.
Bill writes, do you guys think Dennis Smith Jr. could be a starter in a playoff team? And ... no, really.
I do. Like a Charlotte Hornets 8th seed getting swept in the first round team.
I think Dennis Smith has a lot of potential. I don't know. I think he's a guy worth trying to develop.
If he's your like 4th best guy, that's fine.
He's got. I mean, he could develop into an all-star. Do you think he has a? I mean, we're really taking some like going out there by saying Mitchell Robinson's going to be defensive player of the year. I think Dennis Smith Jr. can very well be an all-star. I mean, he's far from it right now, but he's got the potential. He's got real potential.
I'm going to go with pump the brakes again.
Okay.
But he has been averaging a lot of assists lately.
By the way,
6 a game.
I have barely any hope. I'm a Knicks fan. The brakes on my car don't work anymore. So I'm just going with anything I can get excited about. Kadeem Allen, you think he's going to be in the Hall of Fame?
Probably. I mean,
okay.
Smith has 9 assists tonight.
He's not. He's a very good passer. He's super athletic. He can get to the rim. If he can shoot from the outside, and his defense, he has the ability to be a good defender.
Yeah.
You can't say that about a lot of Knicks. Eric writes, I can't help but think Dame Lillard is going to move this summer. What trade package would it take to get him? Less health concerns than Kyrie.
Why would he move?
What do you got? Guys just want to leave their teams at all times. Anthony Davis is like, I don't want to play here anymore. You guys have to limit my minutes. I'm a bitch.
I mean, the only way he's leaving is if he says, get me out of here.
Yeah, no.
The team would
that's the
never,
theory.
ever trade him.
The theory he goes, I don't like here anymore. Trade me. Why? We're doing everything that I just don't want to be here anymore, guys. Stop being jerks about it. Trade me.
He'll be 29 next season.
I mean, you would take him over Kyrie, right?
I would, but I wouldn't feel good about. I want a younger team. I don't want to take on a 29-year-old, but you could do worse than that.
Jeff? Do you think Jay is? Would you accuse him of age discrimination?
Considering the way my teams go, no, not at all.
Does he do this at work? So Jeff works with Jay. Does Jay do this at all at work? Like the secretary comes in, he's like, I want someone younger. Get her out of here.
Well, I think we all would be like, you know what? You don't know what you're doing, especially you're like 2 days from retirement. It'd be better if we had someone else in here. So, yeah, she probably does need to go.
Okay, so what does it take to get Lillard?
Oof, probably our number one pick.
Yeah, it's probably not a good idea. What do you think about the fact that Anthony Davis is now playing like 20 minutes a night?
That whole situation's ridiculous. I mean, I think the NBA told the Pelicans they have to play Davis, so they play him like in the first and third quarter and call it a day.
I mean, the whole thing's insane. It's like obviously they don't want to like break him because they want to be able to trade him, but this is just terrible for the NBA, isn't it?
I get it from the Pelicans' point of view, though. Like, a guy's got a year and a half left on his contract, and he's like, I want to leave. It's like, well, that's nice. You got a year and a half left on your contract, so play that year and a half.
Why not just like say it in the off season when they have the most options to trade you? It would make it easier on everyone. So why say in the middle of the season?
He tried to be sneaky and force his way to the Lakers, and it didn't work. The Pelicans called their bluff and said, no, we're not going to do that. And he's like, oh, well, now it's awkward for 6 months. That's...
By the way, Knicks are back up being by 18. I think they're going to pull us off tonight. Jeff writes, just finished watching the Rising Stars Challenge. I noticed that most of the time, Knox had the same demeanor as Frank did last year. The only time he actually kicked it up a notch was when he got the ball. No hard cuts, no sprinting for an alley-oop. Do you think his low-motor knock on him is real or just a product of a young man still finding his way?
Well, that's a good question. It might be a legit knock. I mean, it looks like some games he's really locked in, and some games he's kind of not. So I don't know what that is.
But do you think he's not locked? Like it's more that he doesn't necessarily know what because of his inexperience, he doesn't know necessarily. Like his lack of aggression is more of like he's not sure what to do, or like he's not as confident as he should be.
But is aggression really knowing what to do or not, or is that?
No, I think sometimes you get stuck in your head of what should I do, and you end up not making the cut because you like overthink things, or you miss that moment to make the move because you're thinking too much.
Let's just say that's it because I don't want to think about the other one.
Yeah, I'd rather let's pretend he's going to be a Hall of Famer. Mm-hmm. Jeff writes, wouldn't you love a chance to place a bug on Kevin Durant's uniform this weekend so we can hear his private conversations with Kyrie and Kawhi? This is the All-Star game, obviously.
That would be interesting. I mean, we would probably know everything that's going to happen in July if we had bugs on players. That's like Collusion Weekend, right? They should just rename it Collusion Weekend.
Why can't WikiLeaks do this? Like, do something that helps America instead of this election crap.
Where's TMZ when you need them?
Oscar writes, who would you rather have had a bug on Durant's uniform when he's speaking with Kyrie and Kawhi, or for that same amount of time have a bug on Donald Trump?
Trump.
Jeff?
Trump.
Oscar writes, absolutely, they should break it up. I joked to the Knicks after they beat Atlanta, should the NBA break this up, basically, like because they're so good. Looking like a dynasty already. What do we do with roughly 200 guards currently on the roster? Who's a keeper aside from, and I'm assuming, Dan Smith Jr. and Frank?
I'd keep Dotson.
Yeah, though Dotson's also a guy that like he disappears.
Yep.
He gets hot for like a quarter, and then like he's like gets like 12 points in a quarter. You're like, oh, he's playing really well, and he ends the game with 14 points.
Yeah, no, that's true. But I would keep him. Anybody else, I'd be like, eh.
I like Kadeem Allen. But what have we thought of him so far?
He's fine, but if he's not on the team next season, I'll live.
Couldn't you say that about everyone on the roster? If he's not on the team next year, oh well.
I mean, everyone except like Robinson, and I kind of want to see Dennis Smith back. But that's pretty much it. Yeah,
Yeah, well, those guys are both locked in for next year.
that doesn't mean anything.
So far, from what I've seen from Kadeem Allen, he's looked decent enough that I'd have him back. By the way, for people that are complaining that Kadeem Allen has not played as much the last couple since Moutier has gotten back, and I don't want Moutier back. But if anyone's complaining about it, you have to remember Kadeem Allen is on a 2-way contract, and he has a limited amount of games he can play in the NBA. So he's probably back in the G League because of his contract, not because the Knicks are like favoring Moutier.
Right.
Now the Knicks are up by 8 with 4 minutes to go in the game. It's amazing how fast the Knicks are potentially blowing this game. Do you have any emails? Oh yeah, Darryl writes. So they won a game. Jay, is this bad? How does the bottom 4 lottery work again?
So the top 3 have the same chance of winning, but if you're, say, second or third, you could fall farther in the draft.
Okay, right now the Knicks are seeded 2. I'm going to simulate the lottery. You can practice simulating the lottery on Tankathon. Where are they going to end up for the five? Where do you think? I'm going to simulate 5 times. Where are they going to end up most?
Jeff?
Third.
Okay, let's do once. First time.
I'm going to go fourth.
The Knicks are drafting 5th.
Okay, that's a good start.
5th again. 4th.
God.
3rd, we're moving up. And last one, 4th.
Oh, my Lord.
That's a good number.
And the last one has Memphis getting their 1 pick. Wonderful.
That's great. That is good times. So we are nyknickspodcast@gmail.com. If you know SEO or how to build a website, please do not email us. We have 4,000 emails about that, to the point where I'm like losing actual real emails.
But Jay, don't you also have Jay Loves Music, and you kind of need that help? You need SEO, whatever the hell
I
that
do need
stands
it for Jay Loves Music, because I have gotten 0 Google search hits on that website in 2 months.
It's like Jay Loves Music. Internet does not love Jay.
jaylovesmusic.wordpress.com is my music site, or you could just go to facebook.com/jaylovesmusic or facebook.com/nyknickspodcast.
Do you want Jeff? What albums would you like to see Jay review on his website?
That's tough. I'm not sure. So if I want to go really extreme, you know what? Let's go some like hardcore techno, something that Jason can really kind of get into on a Saturday night.
Do you have a suggestion? I have a lot of techno stuff.
I don't offhand, but I just feel as though that would kind of bridge a lot of, because I know that you're a classic rock kind of guy.
Yeah,
so I figured that might be something to kind of bring in another honor.
Another genre.
Are you going to do the James Dolan, one of his albums?
Okay, so this is the last thing I wanted to talk about. I think I've uncovered a massive conspiracy here.
Hang on, before you even go into the conspiracy, 1 second. The other idea I have for you is I want you to review a soundtrack to a porn. Like, just go through every song. I mean, I'm sure there must be a soundtrack for.
I have Porno Sonic. It's a soundtrack to. It's like a compilation of the best porno songs.
Could you review that? That would be amazing.
That's your request? Yeah.
That's my request. That would be the best.
I can't believe I actually have.
And you admitted that to everybody just now.
Jay's like, I have that actually. It's on pause right now when I hang up on you guys.
The best song, I'll tell you right now, spoiler alert, the best song on the album is Cramming for College.
Nice.
So, so
that's the conspiracy.
Conspiracy theory time. So JD and the Straight Shot, Jeff, you were aware that our owner James Dolan has a band. So they have listed 5 albums in their discography. So I went on Facebook and Twitter and Spotify and Amazon and their own website, and only 2 albums are available. I think the other 3 albums don't exist. I think they just made a track list to make it seem like they had a bigger discography.
Okay. Why do you think this?
Why would you create a band, have a website, and then not make your music available? Why would you put your stuff on iTunes and Spotify and just leave out 60% of your discography?
Is there a chance that the Knicks traded these albums in part of the Carmelo trade, and they no longer have the rights to them?
I mean, I don't know. I emailed their manager. I messaged them on Twitter.
You mean the manager for JD the Straight Shots didn't get back to you immediately?
I figured he wasn't busy. I mean, we have almost as many.
I run a Knicks podcast.
We have almost as many Twitter followers as them, and they're following 5 times as many people as we are. So they're not very popular. Anyway, from my music site, I wanted to review the JD and the Straight Shot album that has Fix the Knicks on it, and that's one of the albums that apparently doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
I can't find it.
You can't find it anywhere?
No. Can't Make Tears Straight is the one that I'm looking for. It has 1 customer review on Amazon, obviously 1 star, and it says, I would rather listen to my leaf blower than this caterwauling ick. But it's not on Amazon Music. I don't know. So I think this album doesn't exist. So if anybody finds that album, email us, send it to us, and we'll see what it's about.
And you'll review it?
Yes.
Okay, cool. The Knicks are up 9 with 3 minutes to go. I think they are going to end tonight with a win.
Great. That's good.
Yeah, screw. I mean, like, whatever. We don't need to get a number 1 pick. Whatever.
Winning culture.
It keeps getting better for the Knicks.
Mm-hmm. All right. So thanks for listening. Thanks for joining us, Jeff.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Do you have any last parting thoughts?
Jeff, give some hot takes on the Wizards.
Just one more. Well, not necessarily a hot take. Just one more great Ernieism. He could have signed Brooke Lopez, who was averaging around 21 points, but yet he's on Brooke Lopez for $3 million on a 1-year deal. But yet they signed Dwight for 2 years and 11 with a player option for the second, who's clearly taking that.
That's great. That is great. And has he played at all?
I think he's played about 3 games.
3 games. That's
they
good.
quote rushed him back, and that was it.
And then he re-hurt his butt.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's good.
His butt hurts.
That's wonderful. I think that covers everything. The New York Knicks Podcast.com is our website. You can get Knicks Podcast shirts. You can join our Patreon.
What's going with the pens, Jay?
I will have a pen update. We still have a bunch of pens, but they sent...
Does Jeff get a pen for coming on the show?
Yeah, Jeff can have a pen for coming on the show.
Sweet.
They sent me a sample of a much, like a different pen that I like even better.
Does the pen have a screen we could watch Netflix?
No, but we might have 2 different kinds of pens soon because I really want this other pen.
What's wrong with you?
It's guerrilla marketing.
Office life has ruined Jason.
Yes. Okay, so yes, we have Patreon. If we get up to $500 million a month, we will buy the Knicks. We're at $39.
There is a rumor that has already been declared untrue that Dolan is selling the team. Help us buy the Knicks from James Dolan.
We will guarantee better results.
We guarantee we will read your emails at games on the loudspeaker.
Yes. So, yeah, join our Patreon, patreon.com/NYKnicksPodcast. Podcast. We are actually only up to $33. So help us reach our goal of $500 million a month.
Jeff, what's 500 million minus 33?
A lot.
Okay. So we're a lot away. Make it happen, fans.
Yes. All right. So thanks for listening, everybody, and we will be back next week.
Yes. No more breaks from here.
Huh? No more what?
No more breaks. We're back. We're going hardcore in this.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're really pumped about the stretch run.
Oh God.
Spurs.
Bye, my love. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. It's all over. Goodbye. It's time to go.
This is the end.
Say goodbye.